Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. So thanks for choosing to watch my video, and thanks to all my subscribers for joining me. It is much appreciated. I want to make the most detailed videos I can, so it'll be quite a long video. I'll put the time codes in the description below. So if you want to return to any part of this video, you just click the time codes and it will take you to that part of the video. This video is not a clickbait video. I've been testing this watch now for 3 weeks, so I can give you a detailed review of the good and bad points. I think the Q18 watch is better than the DZ09, and a lot of the design flaws of the DZ09 have been addressed and fixed in the Q18. The Q18, which is this watch, is better than the DZ09 for the following reasons. The Q18 has a bigger battery at 500 milliamps instead of 380 milliamps. Let's go ahead and show you that up close. There you go, that's the battery. So the strap is stronger and far more flexible on the Q18. As you can see, that is a lot more flexible, and they're both the same. So they're bent down, as you can see, so they're already halfway there. Let's just stick that one like that. So the speaker is on the front of the Q18 and louder than the DZ09's. So that speaker there's 16 holes there, and that speaker is actually that size inside. Let me just see if I can show you that. There you go, the 16 holes. So the speaker is about 3 times bigger than the DZ09 speaker. The speaker struggles with bass though. I think the Q18 looks nicer with a slightly curved design. The Q18 fits my wrist more comfortably than the DZ09, so let's go ahead and show you. So it does fit quite comfortably, and it's easy. It bends around quite easily. So this smartwatch is called the Q18. It cost £8.35 and was bought at the start of November 2017. The more I look at it, the more it reminds me of the DZ09. So let's have a look at the broken one next. So this is my DZ09. I've got 2 of them. Just bear with me. So this is what it looks like side by side. As you can see, they're very, very similar. Brothers, in fact. The camera is at the top and the on button is at the bottom on that one, and on the side on this Q18. So, but I think the Q18 is better. I've done videos of other smartwatches. I will link to them in the description of this video. These watches I've reviewed so far are the DZ09, the strap broke after 4 months of use, the GT08, a really nice watch, still working after 7 months of use, the A1 watch, which looks like the Apple Watch, which is now 7 months old and is still going strong. They are all similar designs. They all run the very basic operating system called Nucleus. The chipset inside the watches were all made by MediaTek. They are not Android Wear based. To get an Android based watch, expect to pay a minimum of £50 to £60, but that will be a basic laggy watch. Expect to pay £100 for a smooth operating Android watch. Because running Android Smart Wear, you need a big amount of storage and processing power. A quad-core processor is a minimum, really. So just bear with me. So more memory will make the watch run a lot smoother. This watch is laggy because of the slow processor. So just bear with me. So let's get started with a review of the Q18. So this is the Q18 watch. The main problems with the DZ09 watches are that the straps break. I had 2 different DZ09s and both straps broke within 4 months. If you can't fix them, and you can't fix them easily, as the antennas are in the straps. So if you replace them, you won't get full functions, the same functions as you did before. So let's go ahead and show you the broken straps. So these are broken. As you can see, that one is what it should look like, and the other 3 are broken on that one. Let's go ahead and show you the black ones. Whereas 2 are still alright on this one, and the other 2 have completely broken. Not fantastic there. So let's go ahead and show you on this DZ09 strap what they actually look like. So that's what they look like. See if it'll focus. Just little pinholes in them, really. And then they fit over pegs, and the pegs can break as well. So after opening the watch, it looks a similar design, but the Q18 looks slightly stronger. The DZ09 isn't very comfortable to wear. The strap is made from stiff rubber that wants to stay straight. So as you can see there, it's inflexible, it doesn't like, and it wants to pop back to its shape every time. So that's not fantastic, is it? So by wearing it, you're forcing it against what it wants to naturally do, and after 4 months of flexing all the time, it just breaks. The DZ09 is not shaped to fit a wrist very well. The DZ09 watch is a flat design, whereas the Q18 basically the Q18 seems like the next generation of DZ09. It's like someone has said, the DZ09 has problems, let's try and fix them. So the Q18 is not perfect, but it's better and a similar price to the DZ09. There is no accelerometers in either of these watches, the DZ09 or the Q18, so they don't wake up when you move your wrist to look at the time. So that they don't have accelerometers to allow that to work and switch the screen on. So both are button activations only. When you receive notifications on the Q18, it does wake up the watch. I paid £8.35 for the Q18, which is a great price. I will show the eBay information at the end of the video. So the Q18 took only 2 weeks to arrive from China, but it can take up to 6 weeks. If you buy the Q18 from your own country, you'll probably pay around £2 more. It will arrive a lot quicker, so it's your choice. So let's take a closer look at the Q18. There's no headphone jack in the watch. I don't think any of headphone jacks that I have seen. You may be able to connect your headphones via Bluetooth, but I have not tried this. The Q18 has quite a big and loud speaker that is front facing and is as big as these 16 holes. So I showed you those 16 holes earlier. So the speaker is actually that big, and it's front facing as well. The speaker is semi-sealed and slightly covered by the strap mountings, so any dirt should not go straight into the innards of the watch. I have removed the back to show the access to the micro SIM slot and the micro SD card tray. So let's go ahead and show you that in there. So the micro SD card is at the bottom, the micro SIM card tray is at the top. I've taken the watch apart, and it basically falls apart if you take these 4 screws. So that screw there, the one at the top, the one down there, and the one at the top. If you take them out, the whole watch falls apart, and they are PH0 size. So be warned, they are very thin cables inside the watch for the camera, speaker, microphone and on and off buttons, as well as the antenna in the strap. It is very fiddly to get back together, so you need to hold the straps and get them onto the mounting pegs and feed the camera into its hole. At the same time, get the power button back in its hole and feed the charging port to the other side. Then you need to wrestle the straps back in on the pegs and put the cover back on that holds it all together. Basically, unless it's broken, you have nothing to lose. Basically, unless it's broken and you have nothing to lose, do not take this watch apart. I was lucky, you may not be. So just bear with me. So yeah, let's just move. I was just reading my script there, sorry. So after taking the Q18 watch apart, the strap doesn't seem to be as flimsy as the DZ09 inside. So it mounts down underneath this. They don't screw down, but that cover screws on top of it. But the strap mountings do hold more components in place, like the speaker, microphone and camera. The micro SD card slot supports up to 32 GB, which is down there at the bottom. And that just comes up, you just release that by pushing it backwards and it comes off. You put your card in, put it down, and then use your fingernail to slide it forward. So that's the SD card on the micro SIM there, micro SD card slot. So the Q18 takes a micro SIM and a micro SD card. The backplate is better as it doesn't have the speaker grill in it like the DZ09. So let's go ahead and show you those two. So let's show you the white one. So that's the white DZ09 in my left hand with the speaker grill, and you can see on the Q18 there's no speaker grill port there because the speaker's in the front of the watch. The backplate is better as it doesn't have the speaker grill in it like the DZ09. The DZ09 backplate is known to split, so take care when you remove it. So the safest way is to run your fingernail around the gap around the gap of the backplate. So that's what I did. I go in where the charging port is there and run my finger along that edge, and it pops it off, and I take the cover off that way. If you force it, it will break. The Q18's backplate is a little more fiddly than the DZ09. So like I said, force your fingernail in where that USB charging port is and just slide it along, and it should pop off by then and just come off quite easily. So the backplate is flat on the back with a little kick up at the edges to follow the strap shape. So let me just see if I can show you that. Difficult to see, I know. Even more difficult if it doesn't focus, come on. But you can get an idea of the fact that it's kicked up at the sides. The front of the Q18 glass is very slightly curved, not as much as the images of the watch show, but it is gently curved. So let's go ahead and show you it with a ruler. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's just try and get it at an angle. So it is gently curved. I think the screen isn't curved inside, but the watch body is. So that gives you an idea of how curved it is. So the Q18 is not scratch resistant. I wore it at work for half an hour and it got scratched quite easily. I don't know if I can show you that. It's very difficult to see minor scratches on this camera. But I'll see if I can do anything. Trust me, it is scratched. It's difficult to see, like I said. So let's go ahead and show you the dimension. Talk about the dimensions now. Just put that down, sorry. So the Q18's dimensions are thickness 13.5mm with the Q18, and then the DZ09 is 13mm thick. The width is 41mm on this watch, which is side to side, and it's on this one it's 39mm on that dimension. And then tall is 60mm top to bottom. I don't know if you can see that, top to bottom. And then top to bottom on that one, so there to there. Is this one's 60mm tall and that one is 56. And then the screen size is 23mm square on this watch and 23.5mm square on that watch. Just bear with me, it's got some rubbish on it again. Oh, that's permanent marks. So let's go ahead and show you one on top of the other. So let's put them the right way. It's difficult to show you, but I'll try and line them up. Just bear with me. So as you can see, it's a bit taller and a bit wider. So the one on top is the DZ09 and the one below is the Q18. So let's go ahead and put them like that. So the strap on the Q18 is much more flexible and designed to fit more comfortably against your wrist. As I said, look how flexible that is. They're both quite flexible. So the Q18 may have the same mounting design, but it's also more flexible and easier to put on your wrist. So the Q18 strap is 3.5mm thick and it's quite flexible rubber. You can put the watch on the bottom of your wrist as well, potentially, and what that'll do is, because your sleeve hangs down at the bottom, it's easier to wiggle it into your sleeve than it is to have it on the top. And what you find is you're constantly having to wiggle and lift your sleeve to get it over the top of it, basically. So that's an idea for you. So the Q18 is slightly bigger than the DZ09. The 0.3 VGA camera, 0.3 megapixel VGA cameras are pointing in different directions. So on this one it's pointing at a 45-degree angle, which is up that way. And the DZ09 points that way. Yep, it points that way. The DZ09 points forward from your wrist. But 0.3 megapixel is not very good resolution. I would prefer an accelerometer so it switches on when switches the screen on when you move your wrist. So if you move some watches, when you move your wrist, you can look at the time and it turns the screen on for you. And just forget about a camera. Without a memory card, the internal storage will be full after a few images. The Q18 is not really well sealed to the elements, but it is the same for all these type of watches. So I can't show you the leakages of light, but trust me, it's all the way around the frame and all the way around the frame that way as well. So if you can see the light, this is a weak point and the dirt and debris and water can get in at these points. So the Q18 is not really splash proof and definitely not water resistant. in any way, especially with the massive speaker grill on the front, and there's 16 holes there of 0.7mm each, so that's quite a big collection of holes. The sound is better on the Q18 than the DZ09 as it's front firing, whereas the DZ09 is rear firing. So as I showed you before, that's the rear speaker port on the DZ09. Just there, that's where the sound comes out of, and it's a lot smaller. The charging cover is very fiddly on the Q18 and it will take some getting used to. That's the downside of this watch. So the way I get it open is I have to get the scalpel blade in that corner and then open it that way. This is the only way I've found to get it on. So it will take some getting used to. The Q18 supply cable is short and is a tight fit inside the connector of the watch. So this is the cable that was provided with it. Let's go ahead and see if I can get it in there. So it's a very tight fit and I feel it could damage the watch if you use that. So what I do is I've got another one which is a better design, which is a better fit, and I just put this one in, and it's a far better fit and it fits in a lot easier. So that's that done. Let me just put that back in so it's out of the way. So maybe use a better quality cable for a looser fit. So let's go ahead and switch on the watch. So you have to mount it. Those are the connections are there in the bottom, in the top left corner, and you need to marry them up with the connections on the back of the battery. So you put that in. You put the back cover back on, and that will hold the battery in place. As you can see there, the back cover's on. So let's go ahead and you press and hold the on button. There we go, that's the startup sequence. Let's just go ahead and make sure the watch see if it's connecting. So it's trying to connect at the moment. There we go. I'm lucky enough on camera that it's actually done it. So what it's saying there is set sync time and date. So it's synced now, so that should be correct. That it's 3:20 and the date's changed as well. So let's just put that down there for now. Let's put the phone out of the way. Turn it off. So when the Q18 is connected to your phone, you can answer the call and speak through the watch. People who phone me say it's not very good quality sound, but it does work after a fashion. The watch's background image of a flower doesn't seem to be able to be changed on the Q18. It must have a very small amount of memory. You may be able to change the background image on the watch if you load one on the micro SD card. Battery life is better than the DZ09, as the Q18 has a 500 mAh battery instead of a 380 mAh battery. Drop the screen brightness to 1 and this will help the battery life. I get around 7 to 10 hours per charge. Now to the app I use. I use mediatek Smart Device. Let's go ahead and show you that. So as you can see there, that's the app. mediatek Smart Device there. See if I can show you a close-up. There you go, mediatek Smart Device. See if it'll focus. It says my device and it says connected there. There you go, connected. So that's on my phone. So this app is a MediaTek app to work with smartwatches that run a MediaTek chip. So they should all the watches should have a MediaTek chip in. Are the DZ09, the Q18, which is what this watch is, and the GT08 and also the A1. They all have MediaTek chips in them. So there's a QR code on the watch, but try not to use this as it links to an unknown source on the internet. It's not safe as an app from the Play Store like MediaTek Smart App. I'll do a separate video of how to connect your watch to your phone, just in case it messes me around during this video. I'll link to the full connecting smartwatch video in the description below. So you should never need to set the time and date as it auto copies it from your phone. Also, for some reason, the watch notifies me 3 to 4 times for each message. Once notifications are cancelled, you can't see them again until the next notification pops up. but because there is a low memory in the watch, it seems to auto delete the last messages when the new one pops up in the watch. If that doesn't work, try BT Notification app, also available in the Play Store. Let's just go ahead and show you that one. Just bear with me. So this is what the icons look like. That's mediatek there. That's BT Notification there. And that is Smartwatch Helper on the left hand side there. Let me just move that out of the way and get the watch back in place. So this does clash. So BT Notification does clash with mediatek app though, so you may need to uninstall the mediatek app. Another one is called Smartwatch Helper, which is said to work well with the DZ09, so may work with the Q18 as well. The on-off button and the wake button is on the side of the Q18 and made of plastic. The DZ09 button is on the front where the speaker is on the Q18. So the DZ09 button is on the... just bear with me. So that's the DZ09 button there on the front. As you can see there. These pick up such bad fingerprints, these watches. So that's the on-off button there on the DZ09 on the front, and on the Q18 it's on the side there. So if I turn that on, that's put the screen on. You press it again to turn it off. So the Q18 has another button on the front in the silver circle, so that's an extra button, and that's why it's slightly taller than the DZ09. So let's see if I can turn it on. So that's the watch, and it defaults to that one. So you actually use that circle there to change the watch design, and there's three. I like that one. So you turn it off, turn it back on. It should now be locked on that one. So then you press and hold, and it comes to power off, and you go no. That's the only consistent way I can get the watch to turn on. So let's do that again. So you press and hold, and it goes power off, no. So if you're in the menu system as well, you can also press that button and it jumps you back to the main menu system. So let's go names and then press that again and it jumps back again, so you can see. Let's go on menu. Let's go back. So if I press that again, it should go back to menu. So there you go. So this takes you to the home page or allows you to swap the clock faces. So the Q18 is equally waterproof as the DZ09, which isn't really. So although the backplate doesn't have a rubber O-ring seal, it's only really lightly splashproof. So there's no rubber seal on the back of this watch. To be safe, I would remove the watch when washing your hands. If you want a better water resistance, expect to pay between £40 and £100. What does Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp functions actually do? So just bear with me. So when I put my O2 SIM card in, it said invalid SIM. So I went into settings, then down to network settings, then network selection, and it was set to automatic. So I changed it to manual and started it then. It showed O2 UK, Vodafone UK and T-Mobile UK. I can't show you this because the SIM's not in the watch and it doesn't give you that menu option without the SIM being in the watch. So I also found a section under connectivity, which was data accounts. I pressed OK and it gave me an option, add PS account. Someone says if you Google the network that you're with and that the SIM is from, for example, mine was an O2 SIM, so I Googled O2 APN, you get codes, and I think what it is, it's designed to so the SIM knows that it's in a watch and then it works. So phone your mobile carrier and ask them for the codes, or ask the seller. But that is as far as I got. Continue this at your own risk. Until it is set up, you won't be able to use Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter apps, or the web search app. I asked the seller that I can't seem to get the SIM to work in this watch. If I get any response, I will let you know. Let me take you through the menu settings. Just bear with me. So menu. So there's all the standard apps there on these type of watches. Just that's your main settings one. So your settings there. So let's go back, and then your profiles there. So you can customize it. So these are all the customizations. So I'm quickly running out of time on this video, so what I'm going to have to do is quickly go back through this and just tell you the important things. So this is the Bluetooth one. So when you're connecting it to your phone, you need the power on, which it won't obviously tell me. You need your visibility on, which is obviously it's connected. So then you go into your device, and when you know you've connected, you have to search new device to get it on there first. But when you've found that device, you then press which device it's found and you press connect. Obviously I'm connected now, so I don't need to disconnect it, but that's how you do it. And then it goes my device, my name. So like I said, I'm running out of time, so that is the main camera there. So they're all the same, all the options there. So the Bluetooth settings. So I use a capacitive touch stylus, and it makes it much better. So as a Q18 can easily tell which of the buttons you pressed with a stylus. So it's much easier to get an accurate button press. So profiles and settings. Storage won't open without a micro SD card installed. I really like the notifications on this smartwatch. So let's go ahead and show you the paperwork that came with it. So that's the watch I bought, and the title. Obviously I'm running out of time now, so I'm just going to have to go ahead and show you this bit. So this is who I got it from, Fly Planet. I paid £8.35 for the watch, and it came from China. There, you can see at the bottom. So this is the item number of the listing at the top there. Just move that watch out of the way. So that's the item number there. Let me just pull back a bit. So that's the title. If you want to pause this and read it, you can do, but like I said, I'm running out of time, so that's all the information off the listing. So that's one page, and this is the specs of the actual watch. So there we go, this is all the information of the watch. If you want to pause it and read it, you're more than welcome. So that's it. So I really like this watch. I think it's better than the DZ09. So I've crammed as much information as I could into this video, as you can well imagine. It's not the first time I've done this. I did it more than once, and I wasn't happy with the other ones. So I'll put the time codes on the description of the video, so you can jump straight to the part of the video you're interested in. This might not work on all devices though, so thanks for watching and check back soon. Cheers!